Hi guys, this is Zach from Watches on You, and today I'm coming to you guys from Continental Diamond in St. Louis Park, Minnesota, and we're going to be taking a look at one of the most interesting tool watches on the market. This is the Breitling Emergency, and this is the new one with now the dual frequency emergency function. But before I go into that, I'm going to go over the overall case aesthetics and the dial configurations. So the case is made out of titanium, and even though that this thing is a massive 51 millimeter in diameter and 21.6 millimeters high, it is very, very light. It weighs actually, I'd say, a little less than a comparable watch like a Rolex Submariner, even though this is way bigger. And I'd say that this is for sure the biggest watch we've ever reviewed, probably coming in first past the IWC Aquatimer 2000 meter. Now, so on the case you also have a compass bezel, and the way that this works is this is actually a very useful function for if you are truly exploring in the wilderness. And the way that you can use this is you would point the hour hand at the sun, you would then bisect that angle in the 12 o'clock. So for instance, it would be at around 2 o'clock right here is where you get the angle, and then you go to the opposite side of the dial, and that's north. So what you can do then is, instead of having to figure that out every single time you want to know the direction, you just slide the bezel down here to north, and then you'd automatically know where east, south, and west are, and then the degrees in between. So that can just allow you to navigate a lot better for, say, if for some reason you don't have a compass, or if your compass broke, you would easily have a backup. And then that function is actually, you can do that with any watch, just the bezel on this watch makes it a lot more functional. And the bezel action is very nice. It's smooth, bi-directional, it feels very, very high quality. So now moving on to the dial and functions. So the dial, as you can see, is extremely legible. It has polished indices at 3, 6, and 9, and that's common on a lot of Breitling watches. It gives them one of the more unique dials. And it's, again, very, very legible. The numerals are Arabic numerals, very large, so if you just need a quick glance, you'll easily be able to figure out the time. But so now moving into the operating system. So being that this is a hybrid piece with both analog hands and digital screens, the function on this piece, so you activate the functions by turning the crown, and you kind of have to spin it really fast at first for it to wake up, and that's a good function because that way you won't accidentally access these. And now you can see that the screen woke up right there. So right now you can see that I'm an alarm, so you can set an alarm to go off daily or whenever you want, and then the beep is just a nice little beep. I'm not gonna demonstrate all these just for the sake of time. So now this is the chronograph. So the chronograph is extremely easy to operate. You just press the crown in once. You can hear a little ding there, and then you can see it starts, and it goes down to the 100th of a second, so that's very, very functional, a lot more than a lot of other watches. And then to stop it, you just press the crown in once again, and then to reset, you just hold it down for 3 seconds, and then it will go back there, right back to 0. So the next function it has is a second time zone, which is, again, very needed, especially if you're traveling a lot. You can either change your hands and then still have your home time, or you can set the second time zone to wherever you're going. And then this final one, this is the countdown timer. So you can also have a timer, so say you're grilling steaks or you're just using it somewhere else, or if you just want a timer to know how long you've been somewhere, you can always just use this, and then a beep will go off after you're done. So now, and then this is the day of the week and date. You can see 31 right there. And this is the seconds, and then the date as well. So now I'm just going to go back to the blank screen. So now I'll move on to obviously the main feature of this piece, which is the emergency transmitter. And how this works is first of all, you definitely do not want to do this on accident. It can in some cases be upwards of a $50,000 fine if you do this, because they will send helicopters. And there's actually an interesting story where someone in Minnesota, their kid was playing with the watch, they accidentally pulled it out, and a Coast Guard responding team came to the house, and they had to land a helicopter down the street and everything. Huge fiasco. Obviously that would be quite a large fine, so do not ever pull those on accident. They are very serious. So what it actually does, though, is it's dual frequency. So there will be an antenna on both sides of the watch. Each will transmit a different frequency. One will send a frequency up to a satellite, and then response teams around the world will be able to be updated that you are in an emergency. And then the other one will be sent to an antenna on the ground, which can then either send it directly to an emergency responding team or up to another satellite as well, and then it will go to the response team. Now, it only transmits for 24 hours, but typically they'll be able to start responding within 2 hours, as that's how long it takes a satellite to orbit around the Earth. And so after that 24 hours, it won't respond anymore, but they'll for sure be able to pick that signal up before then. And then they'll start coming right to your location exactly how it marked out, and they will send helicopters, whatever they need to do, they will get you. So if you're a serious explorer, this is definitely a watch you should take a look at, because if you get into any sort of situations, you break a leg on a mountain, somewhere where you just can't get out of, you can just pull those pins and then they will come right exactly to your location and rescue you. But, so now I'm going to move on to a wrist shot. So as you can see, I mean right away, this is not, I'd say, a normal everyday wear watch. This thing is absolutely massive. Again, 51 millimeters wide, 21 millimeters thick. It's for sure the biggest watch. I mean, it's absolutely massive. I have a 7-inch wrist for just reference, but being said that it is large, it actually is a lot more comfortable than you'd expect. It really fits to the shape of your wrist very well, and I think part of that is how the links are very, very thin, and that adds to the comfort as well. And the bracelet, again, it's extremely light, made out of titanium. The watch is a lot lighter than you'd think, so the weight isn't that much of an issue. It's just really the bulk of this piece. So overall, this watch is for sure the most advanced tool watch or kind of explorer's watch out there. It has really any function you could ever need in an emergency, especially the responding. I believe that this is the only watch that does have any function like that. But it's available here at Continental Diamond in St. Louis Park, Minnesota, and we'll leave a link in the description to their website. But thank you for watching this video. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.